This is lesson number 8, and it is about hate. It is about how law can, in fact, enforce the need to keep this world alive. No, I'm not leading you except to the law. That's your job. You created the situation. You fix it. We are facing our own extinction because humanity chose that. And you must choose better to avoid that. Your decisions are your reality. What you decide becomes your identity. And the truth that you do or do not accomplish as an action or a reaction becomes the fact of who you are. So we have to decide what the law is in order to save ourselves. We have to decide that nations cannot cross borders, that people cannot completely destroy life or world. We have to decide that the future is important, and you can't destroy the lives of humanity or any other thing. You have to protect what is real. You have to protect the miracles that are surrounding us. You have to respect life. And in order to do that, we do need limited capitalism. Limited capitalism means that we're going to decide as a nation what the limits of income are and what the limits of possession are. In other words, you can't own everything. You can't make $1 billion or have $1 billion. You can't claim, you can't steal, you can't counterfeit, and you can't create debts that you can't pay, all of which have been done. All of which the university leads you to do, all of which, and they do that because, they have no choice if they want to continue as they are. They can't have truth if they want to continue as they are. And all power wants to continue as I have more than you. But that's not good for life. So we have to rule ourselves. And in order to rule ourselves and to rule our leaders, we have to have limited capitalism. Limited capitalism, again, means that we're going to vote on every 10 years or whatever it is that you decide. You have to vote on it frequently so that it doesn't get away from you, because there will always be people trying to poke holes in it. So we're going to decide that, you can't have, income can't be less than 3 times more than the least make, because there are people who deserve more and there are people who deserve less. It's not a question of reality or morality or ethics or anything else. It's just a fact of life. Some people are worth more, some people deserve more, and some people don't. But a more important part of that is the law. And in other words, the law must rule over us all. And that includes leaders, that includes religion, that includes doctors and everybody else. Everybody. Because when the law rules, the ruler does not. And a rule is intended to pick out, to select someone out of the herd, so to speak, so that they can be punished for themselves. That's what a rule does. A law governs everybody the same. It doesn't pick anybody out. The law governs us all. So we need to have a law that governs leaders too, so that leaders cannot step outside the lines and demand that this one or that one or the other one be punished. It is not so. Rules are, are what the righteous want, so that they can pick on those they don't like. That's all it is. Righteous want rules so they can be rulers. And rulers want to rule because they want power. And power, of course, is what cults want. And every cult is decided by, you can't question the leader, you have to obey. So every army is a cult. Because you have to obey, you can't question the leader, therefore you're a cult. And what is, the religion of a cult? And the religion of a cult is whatever the leader says it is. In armies, of course, it says kill or be killed, one or the other. Do what you're told, or you're going to get the rest of us killed, so we're going to kill you if you don't do what you're told. And things like that. People join armies not so much because they want to, but because they believe they have to. Because they believe that that you can't really survive in a world where I am without some support, some organization of some kind to protect me. So they join the army, unless it's to defend the nation, and that is in fact patriotic. If you're defending the nation, and that doesn't mean that you get to believe whatever the politician tells you. A ruler should never make the decision to go to war. That should be a law. A ruler cannot make a decision to go to war. The nation must make it on its own. The nation must say to itself that this is too far. This is trespassing onto our rights and onto our property, and we have to defend ourselves. That's what should occur. And of course, people do that when they have ruined their own situation in life, when they've taken all the resources and given nothing back, as is the constant of this nation and this world and humanity from the beginning. Even farmers believe they are putting things back. They're not taking everything, but the fact is that without fertilizer, all of the farming that is done today will collapse. Without fertilizer and without the pesticides and without all the things that you do that actually destroy the earth, or are going to destroy the earth, or going to fail you, are what they do. So we have to have different solutions for all kinds of different things. And of course, aqua fishing and things like that destroy the population of the oceans by creating disease in the ocean. You have to put those fish out to open sea. You have to uncage them. But if you feed them, they will stay close to the food. And then you can go out with a trawler and pick them up. So you have to feed them. You have to do everything different, because nothing is sustainable as it is. We have to feed the ocean, because if we don't feed the ocean, it cannot feed us. And in order to feed the ocean, we need to give it a break, and that means that we have to use the excess corn and things that we are creating so that to feed us, so that we can give the ocean a break. Because when you take too much, then you have to take the rest, or you die. And nobody's going to do that. So then you eat the seed, and then you have no crop for next year. And that's just how it is. So we need a law that governs the leaders, and we need a law that governs the people, and we need laws that govern the world, and we need laws that make our situation tolerable for ourselves. Limited capitalism allows us to know that we have an opportunity to gain something for ourselves, that we are not going to be subject to the slavery of others, because they took all the resources and will kill you if you don't pay them what they want. We have to do things very differently, because the world is not going to survive as it is. Nothing that humanity is doing is sustainable. Nothing. I don't know of anything. Not the education that you describe. Not anything. Nothing. So we have to do it for ourselves, because the universities have died. They have completely failed life itself. They have completely failed nature. They've completely failed our world. And we have to do better. They have completely failed our nation with, theft and betrayal and treason and terrorism and everything else. You can't depend upon the cult that is your God. Your cult has failed you. Your cult has stolen from you. Your cult has left you to die. And of course, they've left your children to die. or created a situation where they cannot possibly survive. And we want to prove that by the evidence in a courtroom with redress of grievances. We cannot, enforce any law unless the evidence proves that this is in fact needed, that we have no real other choice, that we must do what we must do for life and earth. And you can't do that without the evidence, and you can't have evidence unless you protect the evidence from those who will betray you, from those who will lie and cheat and steal and do like they did in COVID, which is, and like they do with alcohol and everything else that they can. They screw the evidence so that it does what they want it to do, just like they did with global warming. Hire an expert, any expert you want, to lead you any direction you want. Poison, sure, poison, sure, poison, sure. Pollute everything, go ahead. Who cares? I got paid. And that's, of course, the difference between life and death. I got paid for killing the earth. Don't do that. Don't accept that. Get paid for saving the earth. And we have to identify the laws so that we can control the leaders, so that they cannot pick on us, so that they cannot, pick on their soldiers, their army. We need a Bill of Rights for the soldiers that says, you shall not obey the leader, you shall obey the people. And the people say, defend us, don't destroy us. Don't listen to people who want us to fear them. Don't do it. And so we have to have, with limited capitalism, we get to rebuild our lives. And our lives in this nation are being destroyed by inflation. And they can create inflation however they want to. And they're just simply moving you out. They raise the price a little bit, and that means you can't afford it. They raise the price a little bit more and you're bankrupt. They raise the price a little bit more and you're thrown out of your house, and other people take it over. Other immigrants take it over. Other foreigners take it over. The banks take it over. Anybody and everybody that is in a position to take all the counterfeit money they want. And it is counterfeit money because all of the inflation, all of the claims of currency, which are 635 trillion, which is 6.35 million per each of 100 million people, all of those counterfeit dollars are working against you. They're used by liars and traitors and thieves and terrorists to do what they want to do, to rob and steal and kill us all, to create the war against us, to create robots against us. Everything against us. We have to separate ourselves from the idea that you can have or have numbers. Numbers don't matter. Resources matter. Resources decide whether you're wealthy or poor. Resources decide whether you live or die. Resources decide whether there is a future or not. Resources alone are the method of wealth. And in this USA, it's not democracy that made you wealthy at the time, it's resources. And the resources were important because World War II destroyed so many things that all the resources here went to rebuild that. And if you look around, there's no resources left to do that. If you destroy it, it's gone. And of course, the global warming has taken its toll on this and that and everything else. And it's gone. The idea that you can just throw it all away, go get more, go buy it from the store, go get more, that's just dead. It will not continue. And the future will not continue if you try. You have to respect the reality of our lives. You have to respect the reality of our world. You have to respect the reality of what the future must have to survive. And of course, the most important part of that is going to be the ocean, because without an ocean life, there's no way we can feed ourselves. There's no way. And therefore, we have to feed the ocean because we have destroyed what they needed. We have to feed the ocean. And the only thing we really have are dead human bodies. we can, try to make that fish food in some sort of fashion, and they can live on that in one way or another, we hope. You have destroyed just about everything else, and you can't afford to incinerate dead human bodies. The world can't stand it. It just can't. And you can't give it away to taking away ground that we need to create things, or the resources to bury them or anything. They have to use dead human carcasses, which have no value for fish food. You have to accept that. And we actually have to eat pets that we're going to kill anyway. If you're going to kill them anyway, what's the difference between whether the worms get them or whether you eat them? What's the difference? Other than you get to live.